Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Coins History VC. Today, your life might change because we are diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1 dime, 10-cent coin, one of the most iconic and collectible coins in United States history. In this video, we will explore the hidden treasures behind ordinary-looking dimes that could actually be worth a fortune today. From rare mint marks like P, D, and S, to error coins, special editions, and high-grade conditions, you'll discover how even a small 10-cent coin can turn into thousands or even millions of dollars. We are going to reveal the top 4 most valuable 1 dime coins, their history, unique designs, and shocking market values that surprise even experienced collectors. Some of these coins may look dirty, common, or completely normal, but don't be fooled. Hidden inside your pocket change could be a rare treasure waiting to be discovered. Top 1. The 1967 Roosevelt dime is one of the most interesting modern American coins for collectors and history lovers. This small silver-colored coin was produced during a dramatic period in American history when the United States Mint was facing a nationwide coin shortage. The coin carries the famous portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the front side, along with the word Liberty, the national motto, "In God We Trust," and the date 1967. On many 1967 dimes, collectors notice there is no mint mark. This is completely normal because from 1965 to 1967, the U.S. Mint intentionally removed mint marks from coins in order to discourage coin hoarding during the national coin shortage. Because of this policy, 1,967 dimes were struck in different mint facilities, but none carried identifying mint letters. The Roosevelt dime series itself began in 1946, shortly after the death of President Roosevelt, honoring his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II and also recognizing his support for the March of Dimes campaign against polio. The obverse of the 1967 dime features a left-facing portrait of Roosevelt designed by engraver John R. Sinek. The word Liberty appears along the left side, while In God We Trust is placed beneath the neck truncation. The year 1967 appears on the right side of the portrait. Many collectors admire the elegant simplicity of this design because it combines patriotic symbolism with a realistic portrait style. Roosevelt's image became deeply connected to the American 10-cent coin, and the design remains in use today with modern updates. On the reverse side of the coin, the design shows a torch in the center representing liberty, an olive branch symbolizing peace on the left, and an oak branch representing strength and independence on the right. Around the border are the words United States of America and 1 dime. The motto, E pluribus unum, appears across the center. This classic reverse design has become one of the most recognizable coin images in American history. The year 1967 is extremely important in U.S. coin history because it was during the transition away from silver coinage. Before 1965, Roosevelt dimes were made from 90% silver and 10% copper. However, due to rising silver prices and massive hoarding, the U.S. government changed the composition of dimes starting in 1965. The 1967 dime therefore contains a copper core covered by outer layers of copper-nickel alloy, giving the coin its silver appearance without precious metal value. The total composition became 75% copper and 25% nickel on the outer layers bonded to pure copper in the center. The coin weighs approximately 2.27 grams and measures 17.9 millimeters in diameter. This clad composition is still used for modern dimes today. Many people searching through old change are surprised to learn that a 1967 dime is not silver, even though it resembles earlier silver issues. The United States Mint produced enormous numbers of 1967 dimes because the country desperately needed circulating coinage. More than 2.2 billion dimes were struck that year, making it one of the highest mintage Roosevelt dimes ever produced. Because of such huge production numbers, most circulated 1967 dimes are only worth face value or slightly more. However, collectors still search for high-grade examples, proof-like pieces, and rare mint errors that can carry significant premiums. Coins found in brilliant uncirculated condition with full details, strong luster, and no damage are more desirable. Professional grading services sometimes award extremely high grades such as MS 67 or MS 68 to exceptional coins, and these can sell for impressive amounts in auctions. One fascinating aspect of the 1967 dime is the special mint set version. During the years 1965 through 1967, the U.S. Mint stopped producing traditional proof coins and instead issued special mint sets, commonly called SMS coins. These sets contain specially struck coins with better surfaces and stronger details than ordinary circulation strikes. The 1967 SMS dime often displays satin-like luster and sharper design features. Some rare SMS dimes exhibit a cameo or deep cameo appearance where the portrait looks frosted against mirror-like backgrounds. These rare examples are highly prized by collectors. A top-quality 1967 SMS Roosevelt dime can be worth far more than a normal circulated coin. Collectors carefully inspect these coins for clean surfaces, strong strikes, and attractive eye appeal. Error coins from 1967 also attract major attention in the numismatic community. Some dimes were struck off-center, while others show double dies, clipped planchets, or die cracks. An off-center strike occurs when the blank coin planchet is not perfectly aligned during striking, causing part of the design to be missing. Double die varieties show noticeable doubling in letters or numbers due to die creation errors. Certain error coins have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on rarity and condition. Collectors often examine the date, lettering, and Roosevelt's portrait under magnification, searching for unusual characteristics. Because billions of coins were made, finding a dramatic error is difficult, but the possibility keeps treasure hunters interested. The historical context surrounding the 1967 dime adds to its appeal. America in 1967 was experiencing enormous social and political change. The Vietnam War dominated headlines, civil rights movements continued shaping society, and technological achievements pushed the nation toward the future. Everyday coins like the 1967 dime passed through millions of hands during this transformative period. These coins purchased newspapers, candy, gasoline, and bus rides. For many Americans, the dime represented ordinary daily commerce during an extraordinary decade. Today, holding a 1967 Roosevelt dime connects collectors to that fascinating moment in history. Many beginners start coin collecting with Roosevelt dimes because they are affordable and widely available. Searching through rolls of dimes can still reveal older pieces, including silver issues from before 1965. Although the 1967 no-mint mark dime itself is common, it serves as an important educational coin for understanding U.S. mint history, composition changes, and collecting techniques. Coin experts recommend storing collectible dimes in protective holders to avoid scratches and environmental damage. Cleaning coins is generally discouraged because it can reduce collector value. Natural surfaces and original luster are preferred by numismatists. Next, top 2. The 1980 P. Roosevelt dime is an important modern American coin that represents both the history of U.S. currency and the continuing legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. This small 10-cent coin, commonly called a dime, was produced by the United States Mint at the Philadelphia Mint facility in 1980 and carries the P mint mark, which identifies its place of production. Before 1980, Philadelphia coins traditionally had no mint mark, except for wartime nickels, so the appearance of the P on the dime was historically significant. The 1980 Roosevelt dime became one of the first Philadelphia dimes ever to display the mint mark openly, making it especially interesting to collectors studying the evolution of U.S. coinage. The front side of the 1980 P dime is known as the obverse. It features the famous left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt designed by engraver John R. Sinnock. Roosevelt's image first appeared on the dime in 1946, shortly after his death. He was honored because of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and because of his connection to the March of Dimes campaign, which fought against polio. Around the portrait are the inscriptions, "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date, 1980. Just above the date appears the small P mint mark indicating production at Philadelphia. Many collectors consider this mint mark historically important because it marked a major change in Philadelphia coin production tradition. The reverse side of the 1980 P Roosevelt dime contains one of the most recognizable coin designs in America. At the center is a flaming torch symbolizing liberty. On the left side is an olive branch representing peace, while the oak branch on the right symbolizes strength and independence. Around the outer edge are the words, "United States of America," and "One Dime." Across the middle appears the Latin phrase, "E pluribus unum," meaning, "out of many, one." The reverse design combines patriotic themes with elegant simplicity, making the Roosevelt dime one of the most enduring designs in American coinage history. The composition of the 1980 P dime reflects the modern-clad era of United States coinage. Unlike Roosevelt dimes made before 1965, which contained 90% silver. The 1980 issue was produced using a copper-nickel clad composition. The outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs approximately 2.27 grams and measures 17.9 millimeters in diameter. This composition was introduced after silver prices increased sharply during the 1960s, forcing the government to remove silver from circulating dimes and quarters. Although the coin appears silver in color, it contains no actual silver precious metal content. Many new collectors are surprised when they learn this fact because older dimes look almost identical. The Philadelphia Mint struck an enormous number of 1980p dimes for circulation. More than 735 million pieces were produced, meaning the coin is common in circulated grades today. Because of the large mintage, most examples found in pocket change are only worth face value. However, collectors still search for uncirculated coins with strong luster, clean surfaces, and sharp details. Coins graded at the highest mint state levels by professional grading companies can sell for impressive premiums because finding perfectly preserved examples is difficult. Tiny marks, scratches, or weak strikes can lower a coin's grade significantly. One major area of interest among collectors is error coins. The 1980p Roosevelt dime has several known error varieties that attract attention in the numismatic market. Some coins were struck off-center, meaning part of the design is missing because the blank planchet shifted during striking. Others display doubled die features where letters or numbers appear doubled due to die production mistakes. There are also clipped planchet errors, die cracks, and coins struck on the wrong metal blanks. Rare error examples can sometimes sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the error and the overall condition of the coin. Searching through rolls of dimes for these unusual varieties remains a popular hobby activity. The introduction of the P mint mark on the dime in 1980 was itself an important historical event. For most of American history, Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark because Philadelphia was the original main mint of the United States. However, as coin production expanded and other mints became more active, the government eventually decided to add the P mint mark to most Philadelphia coins. The Roosevelt dime was among the first denominations to feature this new marking policy. Because of this, the 1980p dime occupies a unique position in U.S. mint history and is often discussed in coin collecting guides and educational materials. The year 1980 itself was a fascinating period in American history. The United States experienced economic challenges including inflation and rising fuel prices. The Cold War continued influencing global politics, while American culture saw major developments in technology, entertainment, and sports. Coins like the 1980p dime circulated through countless everyday transactions during this dynamic era. People used dimes in vending machines, telephone booths, parking meters, and public transportation. Holding one today offers a tangible connection to life in America during the early 1980s. Collectors often build complete Roosevelt dime collections by gathering coins from every year and mint mark combination. The 1980p dime is an essential part of such sets. While it is not considered rare, obtaining a perfect high-grade example can still be challenging. Some collectors focus on coins with full torch bands on the reverse. Full torch bands refer to sharply defined horizontal bands across the torch design, indicating a very strong strike. Coins certified with full bands designation are especially valuable because they demonstrate superior detail and minting quality. The coin market for Roosevelt dimes has remained active for decades because the series is affordable and historically rich. Beginners appreciate the low cost of starting a collection, while advanced collectors pursue rare varieties and superb condition examples. Coin albums, folders, and protective holders are commonly used to preserve Roosevelt dimes from damage. Experts recommend never cleaning coins because cleaning can scratch surfaces and reduce collector value. Original mint luster and natural toning are highly prized among numismatists' next top 3. The 1985 D. Roosevelt dime is a fascinating piece of modern American coinage that represents the continuing history of the famous Roosevelt dime series. This 10-cent coin was produced in 1985 at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark located near the date on the obverse side. Although millions of these coins were made for circulation, the 1985 D dime remains important to collectors because it reflects the economic history, artistic tradition, and minting technology of the United States during the mid-1980s. The Roosevelt dime series itself began in 1946 to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt shortly after his death. Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II made him one of the most respected presidents in American history, and his support for the March of Dimes campaign against polio created a natural connection between Roosevelt and the 10-cent coin. The front side, known as the obverse, displays the left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. This design was created by John R. Sinek, whose initials, J.S., appear near Roosevelt's neck. The portrait is surrounded by important inscriptions including the word liberty, the national motto, "In God We Trust," and the year 1985. Just beside the date is the D mint mark, indicating the coin was struck at the Denver Mint in Denver. Collectors pay close attention to mint marks because they help identify where coins were manufactured and can influence rarity and value. The Denver Mint has produced billions of American coins and remains one of the most active minting facilities in the nation. The reverse side of the 1985 D. Roosevelt dime contains a classic patriotic design. At the center stands a torch symbolizing liberty and enlightenment. To the left is an olive branch representing peace, while the oak branch on the right symbolizes strength and independence. Around the edge are the inscriptions United States of America and One Dime. Across the center appears the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. This reverse design has remained mostly unchanged since the Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 and is admired for its balance, symbolism, and elegant simplicity. Many collectors consider it one of the most recognizable coin designs in American history. The 1985 D dime was struck using the modern copper-nickel clad composition introduced in 1965 after the removal of silver from circulating dimes. Prior to 1965, Roosevelt dimes were made from 90% silver and 10% copper. However, rising silver prices and coin hoarding forced the United States government to adopt a cheaper metal composition. The 1985 D dime therefore contains outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs approximately 2.27 grams and measures 17.9 millimeters in diameter. Although it appears silver in color, it contains no precious silver metal. When viewed from the edge, a copper-colored stripe can often be seen between the outer layers. The United States Mint produced enormous numbers of 1985 D dimes to meet the needs of commerce across America. More than 1 billion pieces were struck at the Denver Mint alone, making this coin extremely common in circulation. Because of such high production numbers, most circulated examples are worth only face value. However, collectors still search for uncirculated examples with strong luster, clean surfaces, and sharp details. Coins in superb mint-state condition graded by professional grading services can sell for significant premiums, especially if they display exceptional eye appeal or rare strike characteristics. One particularly important feature collectors seek on Roosevelt dimes is known as full bands. On the reverse torch design, there are horizontal bands wrapped around the torch. On many coins, these bands appear weak or blended together because of incomplete striking pressure during minting. Coins with fully separated and sharply detailed bands are considered better struck and are awarded the full bands designation by grading companies. A 1985 D dime graded at a high mint state level with full bands can be much more valuable than an ordinary example. Such coins are difficult to find because even tiny imperfections or weak strikes can reduce grading quality. Error coins from the 1985 D dime series also attract strong collector interest. Some examples were struck off-center, causing parts of the design to be missing. Others display doubled dies where letters or numbers appear doubled due to die manufacturing errors. Additional errors include clipped planchets, die cracks, broad strikes, and coins struck on incorrect metal blanks. Rare error coins can sometimes sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on rarity, condition, and visual appearance. Searching through coin rolls for unusual errors remains one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting for many hobbyists. The historical background of 1985 adds another layer of interest to the coin. America during the mid-1980s experienced major cultural, political, and technological developments. The Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union continued shaping world events, while advances in personal computers, entertainment, and communication transformed everyday life. Coins such as the 1985 D dime circulated widely through grocery stores, vending machines, restaurants, arcades, and public transportation systems. Every coin carried a small piece of American daily life and commerce. Holding a 1985 D dime today provides a direct connection to that era of history. The Roosevelt dime series is extremely popular among collectors because it is affordable, historically meaningful, and easy to assemble. Many beginners start collecting coins through Roosevelt dimes since most dates and mint marks can still be found in circulation or purchased inexpensively. Building a complete set from 1946 to the present allows collectors to study changes in mint marks, metal composition, and production quality across decades of American history. The 1985 D dime serves as an important part of these collections, especially for those interested in Denver Mint issues. Collectors often preserve their dimes in albums, plastic holders, or certified slabs to protect them from environmental damage. Experts strongly advise against cleaning coins because cleaning can scratch surfaces and destroy natural mint luster. Original surfaces are highly valued in the numismatic community. Even a common coin like the 1985 D dime can become more desirable if it remains in pristine original next top 4. The 1988 D Roosevelt dime is a well-known modern American coin that represents the long-running Roosevelt dime series in the United States. This 10-cent coin was produced at the Denver Mint in 1988 and carries the small D mint mark beside the date on the front side. Even though millions of these coins were struck for daily circulation, the 1988 D dime remains important to collectors because it reflects American history, modern coin production, and the continuing legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt became one of the most respected leaders in American history because of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. After his death in 1945, the United States decided to honor him by placing his portrait on the dime beginning in 1946. His strong connection to the famous March of Dimes charity campaign against polio made the dime the perfect coin to carry his image. The obverse side of the 1988 D Roosevelt dime displays a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt designed by John R. Sinek, who served as chief engraver of the United States Mint. Around Roosevelt's portrait are several inscriptions that define the identity of the coin. The word Liberty appears along the left side, while the national motto, In God We Trust, is located beneath the chin area. The year, 1988, is shown to the right of the portrait, and just above the date appears the D mint mark representing the Denver Mint. Sinek's initials, JS, can also be found near Roosevelt's neck truncation. The design is admired for its clean appearance and strong patriotic symbolism, remaining mostly unchanged for decades. The reverse side of the 1988 D dime contains one of the most recognizable designs in United States coinage. At the center stands a flaming torch symbolizing liberty, enlightenment, and freedom. On the left side of the torch is an olive branch representing peace, while the oak branch on the right symbolizes strength, stability, and national unity. Around the outer edge are the inscriptions United States of America and One Dime. Across the center appears the phrase E pluribus unum, a Latin expression meaning out of many, one. The reverse design combines simplicity with strong national symbolism, making the Roosevelt dime instantly recognizable throughout America. The 1988 D Roosevelt dime was struck using the copper-nickel clad composition that became standard for dimes after 1965. Earlier Roosevelt dimes produced from 1946 through 1964 were made from 90% silver and 10% copper. However, increasing silver prices during the 1960s forced the United States government to remove silver from circulating dimes and quarters. As a result, the 1988 D dime consists of outer layers made from 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs approximately 2.27 grams and measures 17.9 millimeters in diameter. Although it looks silver in color, it contains no actual silver precious metal. If the edge of the coin is examined closely, a copper stripe can often be seen in the center layer. The Denver Mint struck enormous numbers of the 1988 D dime for use in everyday commerce across the country. More than 962 million examples were produced, making it one of the common modern Roosevelt dimes. Because of such high mintages, circulated examples are usually worth only face value. However, collectors continue searching for uncirculated pieces with strong mint luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks. Coins preserved in exceptional condition can receive high mint state grades from professional grading companies and become much more valuable than ordinary circulation pieces. One important feature collectors look for on Roosevelt dimes is known as full bands. On the reverse torch design, there are horizontal bands wrapped around the torch. On many coins, these bands appear weak or incomplete because of minor striking imperfections during production. Coins showing fully separated and sharply detailed bands are considered superior strikes and can receive the valuable full bands designation from grading services. A high-grade 1988 D dime with full bands is much scarcer and more desirable than ordinary examples. Such coins often sell for significantly higher prices in the collector market. Error coins from the 1988 D series also attract major interest among numismatists. Some dimes were struck off-center, leaving part of the design missing. Others display doubled dies where letters or numbers appear doubled because of errors during die creation. Additional varieties include die cracks, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and coins struck on incorrect metal blanks. Rare and dramatic error coins can command strong prices depending on rarity and condition. Searching through rolls of dimes for unusual varieties remains a popular activity among collectors hoping to discover hidden treasures. The year 1988 itself was an interesting period in American history. The United States experienced rapid technological growth, expanding computer use, and major developments in entertainment and business. The Cold War was slowly approaching its final years, and American culture during the late 1980s reflected optimism, economic change, and modernization. Coins like the 1988 D dime passed through countless hands in grocery stores, restaurants, vending machines, gas stations, and arcades. Every circulated coin became part of the daily life of ordinary Americans during this important decade. The Roosevelt dime series remains one of the most popular coin collections in the United States because it combines affordability with historical importance. Beginners often start collecting Roosevelt dimes because many dates are easy to find and the series provides an excellent introduction to numismatics. Advanced collectors focus on obtaining high-grade coins, full bands examples, proof issues, and rare errors. The 1988 D dime is an essential part of any complete Roosevelt dime collection and represents the continuing production quality of the Denver Mint during the late 20th century. Collectors usually preserve valuable dimes in albums, plastic holders, or certified grading slabs to protect them from damage. Experts strongly discourage cleaning coins because cleaning can scratch the surface, remove original mint luster, and reduce collector value. Natural toning and original surfaces are preferred by serious collectors. Even common coins like the 1988 D dime can become highly collectible if preserved in near-perfect condition for decades.